Hi, this is Annamoon. Today we want to talk about painting thin lines with a brush. I think that's the most asked question at rock painting. How do you paint these thin lines? These are the brushes that I mostly use when I'm painting thin lines. The brushes are from DaWinci. They are the series 1570 and I have them from size 10-0 till 2. The brush tip is flexible and has a good tension. The brushes with the size 5-0 and 10-0 are my smallest brushes. They only have a few hairs. The greatest mystery with the thin lines is practice. Take a piece of paper and paint on the whole paper so many fine lines as you can. Make sure your paint is not too thick. Dilute with a little water. This is the brush size 2. Always paint in the direction of brush hairs. They will stay together and will not spread. Just dip only the tip of the brush into the paint. This is brush size 1. It is much thinner than size 2. Now I use size 0. You can see the first stroke with size 0, there is too much paint on my tip, so I do it again. It's time for size 5-0. Make sure you almost do not touch the paper. And now brush size 10-0. This brush is so thin. The next thing I want to show you with the brush size 1. The first stroke I made with the direction of the hairs, and the second stroke is transverse to the direction. And as you can see, the second stroke is much bigger. That's because the brush hairs are spreading. The next test is with brush size 5-0. The first couple of strokes I paint in the direction of the brush hairs, and the last stroke I paint transverse the direction. And as you can see, the last stroke is much bigger than the first strokes. If I'm writing with a brush and I want to make sure that the line is thin and even, I have to rotate the sheet of paper and make sure that my stroke is always in the direction of the hairs. If you have enough practice, it's time to draw or paint thin lines on a rock. I will show you this by drawing a tree. Here you can see how light I touched the rock, only with the tip and only a few hairs. And then you have a thin line. I constantly clean my brush between my strokes. I take a damp sheet of kitchen paper and clean my brush in the direction of the strokes. I dip in my brush in some water and then I swipe off in the direction of the strokes, so the bristles and hairs will not spread. I hope this video will help you with your thin lines. Please give me thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you next week. Ciao!